Have you ever met someone who changed a life without even trying? What if the first words a little girl spoke after years of complete silence were not for her powerful billionaire mother, not for the world's best doctors, but for a quiet stranger sitting alone on a park bench? That single moment left everyone frozen, and what happened next proved that kindness can reach places money never can. Stay with me until the end, because this is a story about hidden pain, unexpected friendship, and one act of kindness that changed an entire family forever. Before we begin, welcome to Kindness Library. If stories that restore your faith in humanity touch your heart, please subscribe, like this video, and leave a comment telling us where you're watching from. Your support helps us share more stories that remind the world kindness still matters. Every magazine in America seemed to know the name Victoria Langford. She had built one of the country's biggest technology companies and became one of the youngest female billionaires in history. Newspapers admired her success, but few people knew the truth hidden behind her confident smile. Her greatest treasure was her 8-year-old daughter, Lily. Lily had not spoken a single word in almost 5 years. Doctors called it selective mutism caused by deep emotional trauma after losing her father in a tragic accident. Victoria searched everywhere for answers. She hired specialists from New York, Boston, and Los Angeles. She spent millions on treatments, therapy, and private schools. Nothing worked. Lily communicated only through small smiles, drawings, and gentle hand movements. She loved birds, flowers, and quiet places where nobody expected anything from her. One Saturday morning, Victoria canceled an important business meeting and took Lily to a peaceful park outside Seattle. She wanted just one normal day together. Nearby sat a man wearing faded jeans and a simple blue jacket. He looked ordinary, but his calm eyes carried years of experience. His name was Daniel Brooks. Most people saw only a quiet single father raising his young son, Ethan. They did not know Daniel had once served as a Navy SEAL. After years of dangerous missions, he returned home with painful memories that stayed with him long after the uniform was gone. His wife later passed away from cancer, leaving him to raise Ethan alone. Daniel understood silent pain better than most people. While Ethan played with a soccer ball, Daniel noticed Lily carefully watching a tiny injured bird under a tree. Without saying anything, Daniel slowly walked over. He knelt beside the bird, gently wrapped it in his handkerchief, and whispered, "You're going to be okay, little buddy." He never looked at Lily. He never asked her questions. He simply showed kindness. Lily watched every movement. Daniel smiled softly and placed the bird inside a small cardboard box he found nearby. "It's safer here until someone from Wildlife Rescue comes." Victoria thanked him politely. "We've already called." Daniel nodded. "I'm glad." He started walking away. Then something unbelievable happened. A tiny voice broke the silence. "Will the bird fly again?" Victoria's heart stopped. Daniel slowly turned around. The little girl who had not spoken in years had just asked him a question. Victoria covered her mouth as tears filled her eyes. "Lily." The little girl looked at Daniel again. "Will it?" Daniel smiled with gentle confidence. "Maybe not today. Maybe not tomorrow. But if people keep being kind, it has a good chance." Lily nodded. That was all. But for Victoria, it felt like the greatest miracle of her life. Over the next several weeks, Victoria brought Lily back to the same park. Daniel and Ethan were often there. There were no therapy sessions. No expensive programs. Just simple conversations, feeding ducks, throwing a football, drawing pictures with sidewalk chalk, and laughing when Ethan made silly jokes. Daniel never treated Lily like someone who needed fixing. He treated her like any other child. Slowly, Lily began speaking a few words at a time. Then complete sentences. One afternoon she laughed so hard she could barely breathe after Ethan accidentally chased a squirrel instead of kicking the soccer ball. Victoria cried quietly while watching from a nearby bench. For the first time in years, her daughter looked free. Curious, Victoria finally asked Daniel why he always seemed so patient. Daniel looked across the lake before answering. When I came home from the military, I barely talked to anyone. I thought I had to fight every battle alone. Then strangers showed me kindness without asking questions. They reminded me I wasn't broken. I just needed time and people who cared. Victoria realized she had spent years trying to solve Lily's silence with money. Daniel had reached her heart with compassion. Months passed. Lily returned to school. She made friends. She joined a reading club. Her teachers were amazed by the confident little girl standing in front of the classroom reading stories aloud. The impossible had become real. Victoria wanted to repay Daniel. She offered him a high-paying executive position at one of her companies. Daniel smiled. "I appreciate it, but I already have work I enjoy." Victoria insisted. "There has to be something I can do." Daniel thought for a moment. "There is." He pointed toward an old community center near the park. "A lot of military families, single parents, and struggling kids come here. They need tutoring, counseling, and safe places to spend time after school." Victoria looked at the aging building. Within months, she quietly funded a complete renovation. The center gained classrooms, a library, a playground, counseling offices, and job training programs. She refused to put her own name on the building. Instead, the entrance displayed a simple message: "Kindness changes lives." Years later, hundreds of families had found hope there. One afternoon, Lily stood beside Daniel during the center's anniversary celebration. She smiled at the crowd. "When I was little, everyone wanted me to speak. But Mr. Daniel listened before I ever said a word." The audience became silent. She continued. "Sometimes the greatest kindness is making someone feel safe enough to find their own voice." Many people wiped away tears. Victoria hugged her daughter tightly. She finally understood something no business success had ever taught her. Money can build buildings. Success can earn respect. Power can open doors. But only kindness can heal hearts. As the sun set behind the community center, children laughed across the playground while parents talked with new friends. Daniel watched quietly, grateful that one small act of compassion toward an injured bird had grown into something far bigger than anyone could have imagined. If this story touched your heart, remember this simple truth. You never know what silent battle someone is fighting. A smile, a kind word, or a moment of patience may become the turning point in another person's life. Kindness costs very little, yet its value is beyond measure. Keep choosing compassion, keep believing in people, and keep spreading hope wherever you go. The world becomes brighter every time one caring heart reaches another.